Okay, so the next step is to cut a hole in this particular section of your dash to fit the psychoanalyst through. You'll see that there's a bit of a insert in psychoanalyst. That's what's going to go in the hole. So we're just going to use a Dremel. Now it should be just good to just push through.
I've got a knife.
After the cutting, the plastic may be a bit on the warm side. Those plastic vents are actually bonded to each other slightly.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah. I know on my own bike I bashed a hole with a screwdriver. I wasn't very particular about it. But using a Dremel is a much better solution.
In theory, anyway. That's that corner.
Oops. Huzzah! Alright, the next trick will be to see if it fits. See if we don't have to widen that hole out a little bit. It usually takes a couple of iterations to get it right.
The trouble is with a wire.
The wire has to go through anyway.
Yeah.
Now, on the psychoanalyst, you actually have two sets of wires. One's for the power and measuring how many amps you're drawing. The other one's for a speedo cable, which you connect to your front wheel. The speedo cable setup is very similar to what you find on a push bike speedometer. I normally just cut them off, to be honest. But if you want to use it, it would be possible. I generally don't, because the Vectrix has a perfectly good speedo, you know, right in your dash. We'll just feed that on through.
Moment of truth approaches.
It does. Oh, yep, that looks pretty good. Now, the next step we'd like to cable tie it on. We usually put a bit of silicone on behind it to seal it up, and eventually the silicone will be what holds it on. But the silicone normally takes, between 1 and 2 days to dry. So unless you plan on not riding your bike for the next 1 or 2 days, we'll put a cable tie there as well. So we've established that the hole you just made, this will fit in the hole you just made. The next tricky part is getting the wires down somewhere where you can use them. So what I've got a bit of rod. You can use anything this sort of length. you can use taper to it, or if you can attach it to it, otherwise either is good. And what we do is we just shove it down the hole. Most of you will have a charger in the way, so we just want to get it down there somewhere where you can grab the wire. If you've done it really well, you can actually get to it. Oh, there we go. Aha! Presto! So I feed it on through, something like that. Now, get down and round. Ideally, you'd like the wire to not foul against any of the plastic that goes back on. So what I'm going to do is, using the hole we taped up sometime earlier, feed it in through there. Let's see if it will oblige. There we go. See if we can push that bit of duct tape back up. There's probably another area that could do with a little bit of silicone. So it reaches all the way over to there. If you're really unlucky, it will be about an inch too short. Oh no, perfect. It does fit. Alright, the very next step is to wire it on. For that, you'll need a Phillips screwdriver. Now the wire with the black and the blue, or the two wires, that will go on the screw that's closest to your negative terminal, closest to the battery. At this stage you want to really try and avoid dropping that screw down there, because you won't normally have spares. Not that they're expensive to get hold of, but once again, you know, bolt shops like to sell you 500 or 500 at a time. Not, you know, 10. And the wires for the BMS module, the BMS master rather, and the temperature sensor board, wherever that's run off to. It is around here somewhere. Will go on the screw furthest from the battery. And it does help if you remember that before you put the screw back in. Now, if the crimp terminal doesn't fit on the bolt, like this one just didn't, the best solution for that, get your wire cutters and cut a chunk out of the end of the crimp. What it does is it allows you to run a thread through it. Run the screw through it. You may have to fight with it a bit if it's the last one you're putting on. In fact, I think I'll make it the first one that goes on. You may have to spread it a bit depending on how big a difference, how much larger the making it fit onto. Gee, this is not very friendly at all, is it? I wonder how big it is. No, it's definitely not M6. we go. It's just fighting me now, isn't it? Oh, there we go. Well, it's a solution. I wouldn't say it's quick anymore. Alright, so we've got 3 of those together. All on the single terminal. This would have to be one of the fiddlier parts of the conversion. There we go, that's nice and tight. Alright, moving on. Kind of wish I did that up to start with. Just now to hook this negative cable up to there. So somehow I've got to get a spanner underneath. Alright, this will be an exercise in how to do it the hard way. Stop filming, please.